let's consider some special effects that we can create using the foundational brush techniques that we've learned in this lesson. Think for a minute about being able to create a brushstroke vignette. A normal vignette is where you have an image surrounded by a soft fade, like a cameo brooch. But if you use a custom brush, you can really focus on the emotion and the expression of an image. The vignettes that I'm showing you here were really just extremely large brush shapes that I then used as stamps, but not directly on the image. I used a second layer filled with solid white. I then created a new layer mask, remember those, and used the large stamp brush shape to create a mask that was in the shape of the vignette as you see it. The unique style and surprising shapes you can get using a customized brush on a mask give the image more emotional context and more impact. And more importantly, perhaps, the brushstroke masks are unique. You create them new each time. So if you want to create a smoke effect, for instance, now you're not required to create your own brushes. You can sometimes just find it on the internet. There are a lot of free custom brushes online. Once you have a set of brushes, you can fine-tune them and adjust them to fit your needs. I've found smoke-shaped brushes exceptionally useful for enhancing a mood or an image, and for the most part, they're free. So do a quick search for smoke brushes for Photoshop, and you will find a number of free downloads. Once downloaded, a smoke brush works the same as any stamp brush. From the preset manager, load the ABR file, and voila, they're in your document and you're ready to go. I'll do a rudimentary application of a smoke brush here. I trust that at this point you'll be able to do much better than the sample I'm showing you. But this is so simple, I just want to take advantage of the downloadable brushes. That's really what I want to talk to you about. In this example, I wanted to add a spooky effect to a Halloween image. I position my brush cursor over the image. Then I click once to place the smoke. Additionally, remember that each brush can be adjusted not just from within the brush panel, but also through blend modes like color or overlay or darken, and that affects the way the brushes work on the canvas. Now, after all this brush stuff, you may want to save a brush set. You can save brush sets that you've created or ones that you've just made adjustments to. If you're working for one client on a specific set of tasks that involve particular brush settings, it's easy enough to save them to a single set. Then you load them as you need into any Photoshop document. Here's how. After you create a few brushes, locate and select them in the preset manager. To select more than one brush, either shift-click to select adjacent brushes or Control or Command-click, depending on what you're on individual brushes that you want to save as a set. Then simply choose Save Set. The saved set will have a .abr extension. You can copy that file to any computer you like, PC or Mac, load it into any Photoshop you're working with. It's actually a very cool way of bringing some of your work around with you. We tend to overlook the power of special brushes. We get wrapped up in the tools that are right there in front of us, the ones with obvious and straightforward utility. At first glance, brushes seem to fall into that category. The default settings for brushes are round, soft edges, and pretty easy to understand. But then after delving into the idea of stamps, of patterns, of being able to scatter and turn and twist, and even the simplest brush tips, you start to get the idea that the water's much deeper than you thought. You can use them to paint, but you can also use them as mask shapes or as repeatable elements. The power of brushes is that they can be made of pretty much any shape you want, and you can apply them in any number of ways. In other words, the power of brushes is proportional to the power of your Photoshop skills and your imagination. Have fun with brushes.
Did you like this video? Then subscribe today to stay up to date on our channel or follow us on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. Visit sessions.edu for more info on classes and admissions. Also, don't forget to check out the links to free downloadable content in the description. Thanks for watching.